A sad trend that seems to be happening all over America right now is people no longer being able to afford their homes. And a lot of the reasons why this is happening could have been avoided prior to the purchase.
New tonight, the number of foreclosures is on the rise in the U.S. That includes here in Virginia. Many people are losing their homes after not being able to pay the mortgage. So what has led to this uptick? 10 of your side's Haley Milon spoke with an expert and joins us from the newsroom tonight. Haley?
Well, Tom, during the pandemic, we just weren't hearing about foreclosures much because of loan forbearance programs, but the foreclosure rates are nearly double what they were this time last year.
A lot of times they're fearful. They're like, are you going to throw me out right now? What's going to happen? You know, what's the process? So there's a lot of process that's involved in that.
Foreclosure, what any homeowner dreads. Susan Jenkins of Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate in Virginia Beach says homeowners need to take action before getting to that point. With pandemic-era loan forbearance programs ending, foreclosures in Virginia are up 175% from this time last year. The real estate market is feeling the effects of purse strings tightening.
And we understand there's a lot going on currently in our economy that's causing that. You know, inflation's a big part of it. People are really running up credit card debts as well as dipping into their savings and 401ks just to make ends meet.
Before we go any further, if you're new to this channel, my name is Sam. I'm a licensed life and health insurance agent. I also have my real estate license in the state of Texas. I'm going to put my national producer number on the screen. So everything I'm going to talk about in this video are things that I have had experiences with or things that my clients have shared with me. And I'm sharing them with you guys now so that if you're thinking about buying a house or if you own a property, you can avoid having to go through the foreclosure process. I'm going to share with you 5 reasons why people are losing their homes. Number 4 is going to be very, very important. So you want to watch this entire video so you don't miss anything. One of the reasons that's causing people to lose their homes is failing to predict variable costs. So what are variable costs? I'm going to put the definition right here. If you don't accurately predict the variable cost of owning a house, you could potentially end up in a situation where you can't afford the house that you just bought. One of those variable costs that's causing people to lose their homes is property taxes. In the last few years, we've seen a trend of property values going up. What happens when property values go up? Taxes go up as well. So a mistake that first-time home buyers are making, especially those people who like to buy new construction, is they're failing to accurately predict the taxes. They base their estimate on the previous owner. In this situation, the previous owner would be the builder. And builders are not taxed the same way as you and I would be taxed if we owned a property. With builders, their taxes is based on the value of the land because they haven't actually built the house yet. But once that house is constructed and you own it now, you are charged a different rate because your taxes are going to be based on the improved property. So for example, if a builder buys a lot at $42,000, they're going to be charged based on that amount. But you who buys the $500,000 house on that lot is going to be charged based on that $500,000 property value. So that first year when you take ownership, you have the choice of paying what the builder is paying or paying what you're going to be paying at the $500,000 valuation. So a lot of first-time buyers make the mistake of choosing to pay what the builders are paying, and then a year into it, that property is reassessed at a higher amount and they're no longer able to afford that monthly payment. So one way you can avoid making this mistake is by asking questions during your due diligence period. You can ask to see the property taxes for the last 5 years, and that will help you be able to properly predict how much you're going to be paying in taxes. By the way, if you're getting any value from this video so far, give this video a like for the algorithm and also subscribe to the channel. Most people don't think that anything is going to happen to their job or themselves, right? Most people are planning to actually pay for the mortgage for the next 30 years and be together for life. But we all know that life doesn't work that way sometimes. We know that life events happen. What I mean by life events is someone getting sick or someone getting injured or even death. All of these life events affect whether or not you'll be able to afford your home. And if you don't have enough savings when these life events happen, that is how a lot of people lose their homes. And it's very unfortunate because the solution to this problem is very affordable. And what I'm talking about is having a life insurance policy. Most people have car insurance and home insurance, but they forget to insure the most important asset they have, which is themselves. The reason you have that house and that car and all the things you own is because you go to work. Now, what would happen if you couldn't go to work anymore? If you get sick or injured, or if you die prematurely and you can't go to work anymore, what would happen to your family and your kids? What happens in those unfortunate situations is that people lose their homes. And the crazy thing is the cost of having life insurance can sometimes be cheaper than your water bill or your electric bill. Most people have health insurance, and that's great. That covers your medical bills. But what is covering your mortgage and your other bills while you're recovering in the hospital? That is a question that you have to ask yourself before you buy a house or even when you own a property. Think about it. If something happened to you and you couldn't go to work because you were injured or you were diagnosed with a chronic illness or you suddenly died, how would your family be able to afford that house? If you don't know the answer to that, it's really important that you talk to a life insurance agent and look into actually purchasing life insurance. You would be surprised by how low the cost of actually having a life insurance policy is. And I get it. Most people don't want to think about the worst case scenario, but you don't get car insurance because you think you're going to get into a car accident. You get it because just in case you do get into a car accident, you don't want to be liable for having to pay for your car and having to pay for the other person's car and medical bills. So same thing applies with life insurance. You don't get it because you think you're going to be sick or be injured. You get it because if that situation happens, you have a financial safety blanket. And a lot of life insurance policies have something called living benefits. Living benefits means that you can access the face amount of your policy without having to actually die. So if you have a qualifying injury or if you're diagnosed with a qualifying chronic illness, the insurance company will send you monthly payments from the face amount of your policy. If you'd like more information about this, my email is going to be on the screen along with the QR code that has my contact information on it. I'm licensed in all 50 states, and you can reach out to me and we can see if you are qualified to have this type of policy. Another variable cost is the cost to fix the property. So for example, if you buy a fixer-upper and your plan is to renovate the house, something you have to keep in mind is that the cost of renovating your house could significantly increase between the time you close and the time you actually start working on the project. Taking the time to actually get estimates from contractors in the area is really important, because if you just kind of guesstimate the cost of the renovation, that can be a huge wake-up call when you actually get those invoices from the contractors. So it's really important, if you're going to buy a fixer-upper, to get a long due diligence period so you can be able to actually get contractors out to give you an accurate estimate on what it's going to cost to actually fix the property. And a lot of times you can use those estimates as leverage to renegotiate so that you're able to buy that house for a lot lower than what you actually got the house under contract for. During the home buying process, after you get your offer accepted, you can renegotiate it during the due diligence period. The best way to get a bigger discount is by having hard proof showing the seller exactly how much it's going to cost to renovate the property, and that will usually work to get them to reduce the price. Another variable cost is home insurance. We've seen home insurance rates go up in the last few years. If you're thinking about buying a house, it's so important for you to keep that in mind. Home insurance prices are based on what it would cost to replace your property. So if the insurance company comes out and says the cost to replace your property would actually be $300,000, but you budgeted for $150,000, then that can be something that can affect your monthly rate. So it's really important that you get an accurate number of what it would cost to actually insure your property before you even buy it. By the way, if you're getting any value from this video, give this video a like and subscribe to this channel. The last reason people are losing their homes has to do with HOAs. Homeowners associations require property owners to pay dues every single month, and the monthly cost of these dues can be increased at any time. So the mistake that people make is they purchase the house without looking at the history of how much these HOA dues have gone up in the last like 5-10 years. Sometimes people find themselves in situations where HOAs increase the dues by a ridiculous number, and now they have to pay, a $500 bill that was unexpected, and now their home is no longer affordable. And the worst part about HOAs is that they have the power to foreclose on your property. So if you don't pay your dues every single month, they can start the process of foreclosing on the property. And so a really important thing to do before you buy a house is to ask for as much information as possible about the HOAs. You want to get copies of the bylaws, copies of financial records, and you also want to see copies of recent meeting notes, because those meeting notes will tell you if they're planning on taking on any capital projects in the future. Capital projects require a lot of money. And so what happens is, if let's say the HOA has to replace all the roofs all at once and they don't have enough money in the budget, that could lead to a monthly increase in dues. So if you want to avoid that situation, number one, maybe avoid buying a house in an HOA, or number two, if you're gonna buy a house in an HOA, do your research to find out if that HOA is known to randomly increase the monthly dues. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for all the love that I see in every single video. A lot of the shorts that I've been posting have been getting a lot of engagement, and I really appreciate you guys showing me all that love, and I don't take it for granted. And if you would like to see more videos from me in the future, subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss any future upload. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you guys in my next upload. All right, bye-bye.